Hello, everybody. Exterminator here, and today is Wednesday, which is rant and discussion, and now a small addition, speech Wednesday. Now, today, I know I've talked about females versus males. I've talked about my life and shit like that, but there is one thing I wish to talk about, and this is actually a speech which I will entitle. Uh, I've actually been told I'm good at speeches. I have been told that this. And the only reason I don't do it while standing up most of the time in front of an audience is because I'm that shy type that doesn't like to be standing in front of groups. Pardon me. Um, but anyways, um, the main the speech is gonna be called uh. It's hard to talk when I'm sick. Holy fuck. I'm not really sick. I have allergies, but shit. Uh, this speech is entitled "A Sensitive Boy with a Passionate Heart." Now, the reason this is called this is because it's about a love life, and love life is something we all have in common. It doesn't matter who you are; you at least have some sort of love life. Now, me, it's hasn't been good, and the reason because of that is because I don't think I'm cut out for love. And the reason I say this, and I say this a lot to people who know me, and they tell me that that is a lie. That every so often, like, something will come up, and I'm now, yeah, and I end up not being the one who ends up getting like anything good coming out of a relationship. Trust me, last relationship I had sucked. Well, it didn't suck. It was awesome. It was we actually got to go places, unlike most of my other relationships, and it turned out she just wanted to be friends after that. Uh, now, now is where the speech part begins. Now, for a guy like me, it's hard to hold on to love, and the reason for that is because of my tragic past, and I know it didn't sound all that tragic. I was trying to make it less depressing than I intended to be, because honestly, the more depressing I am, I think the less people want to be around me or even listen to me. But is because of my tragic past and how sensitive I am about it. Now, it's not just that I'm sensitive about. I'm sensitive about a lot of things. I am a sensitive boy, which is again why this is titled "Sensitive Boy with a Passionate Heart." Now, the reason girls don't like a sensitive guy is because most girls want to go for looks. You know, the jock guys, big, buff. Uh, they could be good at intellectual stuff, I'm sure. Big guys, buff, always pushing people around because they're big jock guys. They're guys who are handsome, who have muscles, pecs, like to flex them. Yeah, buns and ties, and shit like that. No girl wants an overweight, nerdy, creative type of guy like me. No. Well, there are a few girls that do that. And no girl wants a sensitive guy because girls are meant to be the ones, well, most females are meant to be the ones who want to be protected by their husband. Whereas, like, sure, I will be a physical protector, but when it comes to emotional and spiritual, it's my friends who protect me. And that's one of the main things that women don't understand. See, to me, for a sensitive guy like me, I need a girl who is stronger than me. Not physically, but emotionally and mentally. And it's hard to even talk about the things that I've done, how my past is, and how shit has gone wrong, without somebody just laughing and calling me a troll. Like, a while back, I actually shared my story with a few people who would understand back in Mike the Microphone's. Well, when he wasn't even on Mike the Microphone, there's like 4 or 5 people in Mike the Microphone's live stream. We were sitting there and I was talking. I was talking to people and they were talking to me about life stories and how shit was going, and I said, well, this, and that, and this one guy said, ha, he's a troll. None of this is real. None of this is real. And this guy doesn't know me. This guy thought I was a fake. Thought I was just this kid who wanted attention. Now, true, a lot of people who are sensitive and want attention, and they do it wrongly. I don't want attention, I can tell you that. In fact, I'd rather be the guy sitting in a corner away from all the attention, but then ends up getting drawn into attention because people are questioning who he is, why he's doing that. I can imagine that when I go off to college up at the Art Institute, I'll be that one guy in a cafe who's sitting there reading by himself, drawing by himself, doing something by himself, and everybody will be sitting there staring at him. Who is this guy? Who is this random guy that just started coming here? You know, shit like that. And anyways, and then he started poking and prodding at me, making fun of me, testing if it was real. Of course, me being a troll, not troll, me being a troll-hating bastard, a person who dislikes being angry, start getting angry. Now, some may agree that getting angry is what people who do want attention, who aren't telling the truth, do, because they think, oh, we caught you in a lie. See, I get angry for all types of reasons. I get angry for when I tell the truth and I've been told I'm lying. Anyways, there are a few girls that would want a guy who wants a woman who's stronger than him physically and emotionally. And honestly, all I want is a girl who has a great personality, who would understand me. And I've never had that before. There are so very few females that understand this about people. There are some guys who have dark secrets that they don't want to hold on for their entire lives, which is mainly why they want to share them with somebody. Everyone has their own dark secrets. Me is my tragic past, the shit that I've gone through, everything. There are a lot more things that I've withheld from that depressing story. And, well, see, this is where it gets hard to talk. Because whenever I even think about trying to have anything to do with a relationship anymore, it's hard to even breathe, it's hard to think, it's hard to not be nervous. Because a guy like me doesn't have a chance. Doesn't have any single bud of a chance to get a girl. Most girls at school look at me like I'm just some sort of big freak wandering the halls because I was held back. No, I went to school on time. The only reason I have a full-on goatee is because I've been blessed with the facial hair gods, I guess. And no women that I've known has been more accepting than a few of my friends. And I can tell that it all would go downhill if I ever tried to ask one of them. Hell, I've tried asking a few of them. Turns out, not their type. They end up saying they're already in a relationship. I don't know if it's real or not. Now, this speech didn't turn out quite as the way I wanted it to be. Because, honestly, I actually had an entire thing planned out in my head, but with what just happened like a few minutes ago, the fact that I had music in my ears, the thought of having to speak to a college counselor here soon, and all that type of stuff sort of just crumbled. It crumbled, like a lot of things happen. But, yeah, it's hard having to be a sensitive guy who in no way in life could ever have a girl who would ever want to speak to him without, you know, just who would ever want to speak to him because he's this big lug. Okay, here's the thing about me. I'm a gentle giant. I'm wide, I am threatening looking if I stood up straight and didn't slouch. And I'm sure people would not want to make fun of me. They think I'm a threat because of how big I am, and that's why they make fun of me, judge me, and push me around. I could easily probably knock somebody out, but I'm that gentle giant, that big fluffy teddy bear. A picture that I probably have posted, and I laughed when I saw this because I'm sure there's a lot of women that would understand this if they even considered guys like me. Now, the only difference between the guy in the picture and me, the big guy in the picture and me, is probably he hasn't had a tragic past. He's overweight, yes. He hasn't had a tragic past. Now, one other thing you gotta understand about me is, like I said before in my depressing story, I care about more people than anything. I would give my life for every last person I knew. Any person I get to know and understand who isn't a backstabbing bastard, like some of my friends here at home, I would take a bullet for. I wouldn't care. If the only way to get everybody out of a certain situation was for one person to die, I would step up. I wouldn't care. I would be happy knowing that I got a few people out alive, even if some of those people are complete assholes. I would give my life for even a complete asshole. Just as long as he understood that I did it because I care more about other people's lives than my own. Take it, the entire reason if, like I said about going to Equestria, I would risk every ounce of my being to protect every last pony there. It wouldn't matter if they were one of those ponies who end up being a giant douche. I would give my life even for Diamond Tiara and Silver Spoon, the two bullies who end up pushing around some of the best kids I've known. Well, I don't know them. You would understand. But with that being said, my entire dreams, besides becoming a game designer and hopefully working for some big game company, and as well as putting on a lot of like ideas onto the table and seeing if they'd be agreed with, would be to somehow find my way out of this hellhole. The hellhole that is this world of chaos and corruption that no matter what people do will never change. And being sent to, I don't even care if I'm sent to Equestria, I'm sent to Tamriel. I don't care. If these worlds exist, as long as I'm there, I'm able to risk my life doing something. Instead of, oh, join the army. You can risk your life doing that and going to war. I wouldn't care. I wouldn't risk my life for this world, even if I wanted to. I wouldn't risk my life for America. I wouldn't risk my life for any of the other entire world. I'd risk my life for people I knew, who are understanding. I wouldn't risk my life for America, no. Hell, if somehow the world became Fallout, I'd be happy. Except for the fact there'd be people being turned into slaves, people being turned into ghouls, people dying left and right. I'd be happy to risk my life then. Go out into the wastes and, you know, if the things were like Fallout, things were like Skyrim, I'd do anything to fight off anything. Anything I can. if suddenly the world became, oh, everybody's going to be able to respawn, and suddenly everything became Call of Duty or fucking TF2. Hell, TF2 would be funner than Call of Duty. What am I kidding? I would stand up and gladly be the first out in the field to get killed. Because at least I'd be testing something. See, I'm... Physically, I am strong. I wish to protect those who I can protect, who I want to protect. And hell yeah, I would protect the assholes. Take it, hell, if I was playing TF2 and the heavy who I was pocket editing was a complete douche and called me a hatless faggot, I wouldn't give a shit. I'd still be behind him. I'd let the guy get as many points as he can until he dies. And if he calls me an idiot for that, I'm sure I'd report the hell out of him, but I wouldn't give a shit. Because honestly, I didn't die. He was the one charging into battle. Hell, I'd be a heavy if I have to. Of course, I'd have a pocket medic behind me who would end up healing me all the time, but sadly. Anyways, so the main idea of this speech was to actually show that a guy like me has a big heart. Not as big as a mega baboon's heart, sadly. But a heart of gold, nonetheless. And one that is meant for passionate love. A girl who understands the way he is. I'm not saying that I'm ever gonna get a single chance to do that. I wouldn't care if I was sent to Equestria alone. I wouldn't care if I was sent to Tamriel alone. Anywhere that somehow became real and I was sent there that is life-risking, I wouldn't give a shit. If somehow I was the only survivor in my town and the zombie apocalypse came, I would gladly fight off the undead myself. But anyways, like I said, I am a sensitive boy. More at age 18 a man, without losing my virginity, with a passionate heart. And if you like this video, why not leave a like, add to your favorites. Subscribe for more. And by the way, thanks every last one of you for still being around. Subscribe for more. As always, leave your suggestions, comments, and opinion on this speech. And the possibility of me writing actual speeches and putting up on here in comment section below. And remember, Pony, keep calm and brony on.